Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today I'm in the data center, my little data center here, and it's rather quiet because right now it's only the storage and the switch behind here running because I powered off my main server because I wanted to try and install this NVIDIA GRID card. This is the NVIDIA GRID card K1. It's a very expensive card. And I bought this used in Germany, used and broken. The auction said that it had a fan error, but there is no fans in this graphics card, so I have no idea what it might be. The best way to figure out what could be wrong with it, if it's still faulty. If you haven't seen my last video where I took it apart and fitted it in this tray, the riser card for the IBM 3650 model 2 and 3, you should go back and see that video, but I'm gonna detach my main 24/7 server here, this one, and I'm gonna put in this graphics card and we're gonna power that up again, so stay tuned. Here it is, number 17 is the main 24/7 server right now, and it's still running nicely with the disks. I've powered it off. So around the back we have to detach the cables because there's not enough room back here, so I have not been using cable management arms, which is very visible because it's a hell of a mess back here. I have it only running with one power supply. I think I better fix that too. So let's power it off, and I'll just move over the cables. One server down. This is the internet connection. This is for I forget, but that has to go into the same port. How do I remember that? Cables has been removed. Okay, we don't have to take it all the way out. Open sesame. So I'm gonna be putting in the graphics card here. So I'll take this one out and that will be exchanged. And this plastic muffler here is also necessary to be removed. And a bit of dust has now been removed. And now that I'm gonna play with this, I might as well put on the anti-static wristband. Bit late, I know, sorry. This is a bit hard to get down there. It's a tight fit, very tight fit. And it's good down in the riser. I'm gonna put in the power cable for it. Has to go that way. That. And we should be able to put the cover back on. I want this power cable not to be in the way of the airflow that has to go through there to cool down the graphics card. Okay, the server is powered on again and it's blinking, and when it's blinking it means that it has power but it's not powered on. So if I press this, it will power on. And we get something at the screen up here in just a little bit. Well, this is kind of a problem because it has registered that there is a graphics card in it. So it boots up and it shows me something, and the screen just goes black. Been around the back and I have unplugged it to see if, yeah, now it goes through more of a cycle. Last time it just started up. So I'm gonna see if I can get into the BIOS and tell it to use the graphics card, the onboard graphics. I don't have a cord out the back in that grid card. That's a problem. It does more of a cycle if it has lost power since last time it was powered. Remote video engine online. That's probably all from the IMM. F1. BIOS, go into the BIOS. No signal. Oh! Okay. I'll try it from the computer and see if that's doable. I think we will go with the Firefox for this. And we'll hit in the IP number for the IMM adapter. That's the one actually. And I'll log into that one. I am just using the standard password here. And we'll go into remote control and start that one. And no, that does not have a signal either though. So I'll have to go and take out the graphics card again and go into the BIOS and tell it to use the video card in the server. I've taken the card out again, turned the server on, and I hope that I can go into the BIOS and tell it to always use the graphics card in the server and not switching to this one, because as you can see there is no monitor output, so I have very little control, to say none at all. Now I get the option of getting into the BIOS. This is apparently where the other graphics card would take over control. Have to wait for this will turn black again and it will pop up again, and then there will be the choices down here. There, it turned black, it will pop up again, and shortly after that I'll get the option of pressing F1. There. And I've already pressed it, so let's see if we can find the option of always using the screen. System settings might be a good place to start. IO. Active video. Onboard device. Check. So it will always be the onboard device. That didn't take long. Thank you very much. We will go out and we will save that. Save settings. And I can boot again. Active. Oh, yes. So now I can unplug everything, put the graphics card back in and turn it on again. Well, if you're not into servers, you might think that this is really weird. Why do I need a graphics card with no monitor on it? That's because graphics cards has the GPU, like the computer have a CPU, and the GPU is really good for a lot of calculations, like graphics calculations. So without any screen or anything on it, I'm just using, or hoping to be using, the 4 GPUs in here to do high-end advanced calculating. And to make this even more complicated, I don't want just the operating system on the server itself to be able to use the GPUs. I want the virtual machines on the server to be able to use the GPU. And that's where it becomes really difficult. Let's cover this up. And I'll go put the cables back in. Again. It's powered up again. And I'm pretty far in the post as well. So right now I'm just hoping that it will still show me a picture. Yeah, now we get a screen here where it before would take the screen to the external graphics card, or the internal graphics card actually. So just the fact that it does that proves really good. I hope it might actually be in working order when it does that. So I'm really crossing my fingers here. That is such a bloody expensive card. And I got it for 101 euros. That's cheap ass if it works. Okay, I went into the BIOS here and I have not been able to find the new card anywhere. Let's see, system summary. Nothing really shows to be a new graphics card here. Product data, management, nothing I can see. If we go into system settings, I would have expected that it would show up down here. There is 4 network ports, there is the RAID controller. Yeah, more or less, probably just the RAID controller, all of this, but no graphics card in there. So I guess I'll have to boot it and see if it finds anything. maybe go Google it, how we do this. But right now my internet connection is down because this server controls the internet connection. So I think I have to boot this and go look for it. Maybe it will just turn up, who knows. So it will be booting the hypervisor now. Okay, let's see what we got here. I have now, let's see that, I have remote control to the server, so I have the display out there, and that's all good. So let's minimize that. And I have opened my WebSphere client here, and I want to see if I can pass through the graphics card. So we will have to do that. I think it's in configuration here, advanced settings, yes. Configure pass-through. That would be great if we could do that. Host does not support pass-through configuration. Oh, so apparently I need to do something with the host before I can do this. I think that's some BIOS settings that I actually have to tingle with. I should have done that when it was down. I'll go research some more and see if we can get this up and running. I've done this before. Maybe I should just go watch my own video. Okay, I think the problem is that in the BIOS, the feature VT-D, that's direct virtual something, transfer is not enabled. So I have to shut the server down again and go into the BIOS and check that out. That's a little bit irritating because I should have really used another computer than this one. Well, I didn't turn on everything, so I might as well just do it. Let's see if I go up here and virtual machines, and I can sort them if they're on and or off. And I'll just pick the Windows machines here, and there we are. And power down those. Yes. Okay, it's not behaving very well right now. Power down that one as well. And I will just reboot the server. And we can turn back here and see when anything happens to it. Should be shutting down now. Yeah, there it went. And I'll go into the BIOS and meet you there. Okay, here we are in the BIOS. It actually got in there fairly quick. So let's see, system settings. And these are some processor settings that we need to enable probably. Turbo mode. I want that too. Enable. Thank you. But down here the VT-D is disabled, and that's not good. So we will definitely enable that. Virtualization is enabled. Cache, max performance. Execute enabled, hyperthreading is enabled. Okay, everything else is enabled except this power C state. I'll try and enable that too. Let's see what happens. And we'll go save that. Save settings. There. Escape. And yes. And it will be booting. Okay, we have booted again. And I have already connected through the vCenter here. So we have our server up and running, and it has automatically started some of my virtual machines as well. But we have the server right there. So let's go configuration. And now the pass-through configuration or configure pass-through has been blue instead of grayed out. So now I can actually choose things that I want to pass through. And look at that! We have some NVIDIA cards down here. It's a bit odd because as far as I know there should be 4 processors in there, but I can only see 3. I don't know what's going on here, if one of them might be faulty, or if the 4th one, if I've cut that off because I'm not using the PCI Express X16 but only the X8. I have no idea how that works. We're gonna select the 3 here and pass those through. So okay, and updating PCI pass through. Cool, completed. For this to work, I think the server needs to be rebooted, but we could just go in here and see if there is anything available. Edit settings. This is my jump server. I'll try and add something. No, there is no PCI devices there. Might want to try and power it off first. I think the server needs to be rebooted before this will become active, but we could just give it a try and see what happens. Edit settings, add. No, there is still no PCI device available here. I'll reboot the server and I think it will become available then. Okay, the server has booted once again and it has turned on all the machines that I have set it to turn on when it boots. And I have closed down this machine again, which is my jump server, because I was in here. I do actually sometimes check this out before I hit the record button, but if we go in here to edit and want to add a device, the PCI device here was grayed out before I did that. So by turning off the machine, I'm now able to add a PCI device here. And I have 3 PCI devices right here. I can add an NVIDIA Corporation GK107GL core. Let's pick one and press next. And there we are. We have added a NVIDIA GPU to this server. Oh, it's a jump machine. It's actually a Windows 7. So let's press OK to that and try boot that and see what. I'm gonna get a screen on that. We're gonna minimize this and we're gonna press play and see what we get. There we are. So I'm gonna log in here. Gonna be interesting to see if it pops up and I found new hardware. There, actually something. Okay, the computer needs to restart before it can do that. Okay. Hope it doesn't take my screen away. I went in here to the device manager and I now have a new standard VGA graphics adapter, and it's not that standard. Let's see if we can see some more properties on it. It doesn't really show up, so let's try and download some NVIDIA drivers for it and see if it becomes awesome after that. Go to NVIDIA's page, drivers, all NVIDIA drivers. Let's check. We have a grid and we have product series, series, vGPU, WebSphere. I wonder how that works. I think we want that. I will download this. It's rather big. 883 megabytes. Okay. Accept and download. And we will put that there. And we will be back in 8 minutes. Okay, we are done downloading. So I'll minimize this. I cheated. I went and I downloaded. Well, we downloaded the file and I've unzipped it. So it's already unzipped. There is 2 PDF files. I have transferred those to my main computer to look at those. But I was really hoping that I would just be able to install this driver on this virtual machine and see something working. Because the other thing is I have to install VMware Horizon, I think it's called, on my VMware environment, and well, that's a bigger thing, I think. So I will try and install this and see if that's enough to see this actually working. Yeah, NVIDIA GRID K1. installed, and we have to restart. Okay. Uh-oh. I think it took over the graphics card. Ugh. Yeah, I think I'll have to unplug the graphics card again and try again. We'll just edit settings here, go in here and remove that. Remove. Yes. And try and power it again. Now I only have one, so I'm gonna set up some remote management to it, so when the screen disappears I can actually take it over from something else. Okay, after a lot of tingling around, I have this up and running. The screen is totally dark, and that is because the other graphics card must have taken over the screen processing thing, and I was actually able to run this, and it's slow as hell, so I wasn't impressed about this. I'm not sure why it's this slow. I would really think that it would be quicker than this, but I might be not doing this right. So let's try another performance test like this one. Yes, my evaluation period has expired. Awesome. So it has gathered the information, so let's try and run a test. Okay, it's running on the VM-ware network card. That's not cool. Okay, that was ridiculously low. Let's see. No, thank you. Oh, pass mark. Yeah, that was bad. The processing power is okay-ish. The 2D graphics is okay-ish. The VMware graphics 3D that sucks. This didn't test the grid card at all. This was all 3D card in the VMware environment. So, I gotta find something that can use the card instead. I guess this is as far as I got right now. NVIDIA card is here. I'm able to remote control into the machine, and I'm using TeamViewer for that. I haven't found out how to actually use the card in here, but it's there. Well, I did get pretty far. I got the graphics card or GPU processing card in the server, and it can see it, but I'm not able to use it yet. So I have to become a bit smarter before I can pass that through. I have another one in this one. That's an AMD graphics card that's inside there, and I've actually figured out how to use that with my video rendering software. So when I render out a movie, I can use that server for that. And something similar I was hoping for. It seems like the 3 out of the 4 GPU cores are okay in there. So even with only 3 out of 4, it's a good bargain. So if you have any ideas on how I can go further on this and get this up and running, please leave it in the comments below, so I can play with this. I should be able to play with this from home, so all your good comments I will have the opportunity to test them over the week. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.